You can hear me? Welcome to the Culture Club here on Power 904. And today we have someone insanely talented in the industry, a serial entrepreneur. My pleasure to introduce y'all, Jai Yoko. What's good? What's good? What it do?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Bless, bless. Look, it's a serial entrepreneur. I seen your rap sheet. I'll say, yo, this resume is extensive, long. I'm like, and it's a lot of different compartments that artists don't even know about. So I definitely want to tap into some things. I want to jump straight into it actually. I say like you operate like at an intersection of entrepreneurship, basically. Artist development, education, advocacy. Like how do you define your role in today's creative ecosystem though?
It's not one. You feel me? I wear like five or six different hats. It honestly depends on what the person and what the client needs, right? So the way that I approach just this whole kind of this industry period is I feel as though I have more of a holistic approach, which is a crazy ass thing to say about the music industry, right?
Yeah.
But the way I approach people is not uh there's no cookie cutter answer for me, right? So everybody has to be approached. Think about it when you go to the doctor. You got to be diagnosed. You got to be examined. You got to figure out exactly who you are and what you
Yeah.
need. That's how I approach not only just my clients, but different situations and partnerships that I wind up having is figuring out where's the alignment and how can we all grow together. It can't be just no like one stop shop. This is how we work with everybody. So that's the way that I approach kind of everything in an industry. It all depends on what the need is.
Right. I get it. I get it. That's basically the same thing with a car. You know what I mean? With something wrong with it, you be thinking is this part or that part. You got to do a whole diagnostic of it. You know.
Exactly.
What part you think people recognize like the most about your approach though?
Um, I think the fact that I'm kind of like a translator, if you would, right? So the way that I kind of got, I don't want to say notoriety, but I'd rather say trust, right? The way that people started to trust me in this industry was the fact that I was not talking down on people, right? It wasn't a situation where like, I know this and you don't, and you should know better.
Yeah, because I
I
see that in
started
my reviews a lot. You're right.
You feel me? So I learned to talk not only to people, but to translate it in whatever they needed. You feel me? So I was a person where I'm gonna keep it real funky, bro. Like I could be sitting at a table with congressmen, right? And 2 hours later, I could be in a trap, straight up. You feel me? But I know how to talk to everybody, right? So when we at the congressman, cool, we talking business. But if I gotta break down music terms to somebody who's in a trap, I'm gonna explain it to them like a basketball game. You feel me? So I think the fact that I was able to find a way to speak everybody's language and take this arduous industry with all this jargon and put it into everyday terms so that every person understood it, it gave it a situation where these people started to feel value in themselves because they understood it at the end of the day. So being able to translate these things and approach people and meet them where they're at is what got a trust factor for me, and that's kind of what started everything.
Yeah, I like that approach. That sounds better than the average I'm gonna say typical modern day. I ain't gonna say modern day because it ain't even modern. That's like people don't even do that because most companies don't even do artist development and people don't even know what that is. You know what I mean? Like labels now, they don't even do artist development. They just want you to come already as a photographer, do your content, do all of these different parts. But most artists don't even know the compartments. It's like looking at a warehouse and there's different parts of it, you know, and you kind of play a position in all of them. And the game is constantly shifting too. It's constantly shifting. So
Like crazy.
how do you maintain authority without like limiting like a artist's individuality?
I think keeping myself as being a student of the game, which keeps my clients to do the same. You right. So like you said, this game changed every single day. So if you're not keeping up not only with the changes, but the various industries that might intersect at the same time, you're gonna be behind. You feel me? So that's like an
Yeah,
artist. Like they gotta be an artist, but they gotta be good at content. They gotta be good at performing. They gotta be good at this. It's the same thing on the business side. It's like, cool, I gotta understand for me personally, I gotta understand the paperwork, but I gotta keep up with what's going on in the news right now. I gotta keep up with the changes that are happening on the major side. I got to keep up with the tech aspect that's now integrated into music. But for
that's
me,
smart.
this is something that I love and that I'm passionate about. You feel me? So it becomes easy for me. It's like looking at the news. So literally every morning where I see people look at, what's going on in the world, I'm getting updates about this label just joined together. These people just raised X amount of funding. This
Yeah.
lawsuit is going in. So it's just keeping myself engulfed in the world and understanding that, like, if you're not ahead of it, you're going to be behind it. So for me, I always wanted to be ahead of the curve. So keep myself to being a student of the game.
I don't think people know how important that part is right there. Because most artists, they just look at, yo, go to the studio, record, put music out. I mentioned like on my show, I mentioned about ASCAP, your Pro, SoundScan, Sound Exchange, and they be like, what? Like, yeah, I'm gonna look into it. I'm like, bro, you wasting money just going to the studio. And I think they be needing people like you or some advice, or so they could follow you. Matter of fact, what's your gram or something? You know what I mean? So the people could know where they could follow and get this insight from.
Listen, anywhere from MySpace to Instagram is JYokoENT. You feel me? I'm on every single platform you could probably think of, just because you gotta have the digital real estate presence. But my website is JYokoENT, and that's where the home base of everything.
Okay, bad. Look, the structural change we just was talking about. What what kind of structural change does the industry need most right now?
Um, what is needed is not what's popular. Let's put it like that, right?
Oh, that was
So
different. I like that. Whatever's not
it's not
popular.
it's not popular, right? So for me, because of the side of the industry that I'm on, right? So again, I wear a couple of different hats, but I'm also on what we call rights and royalty management, right? So understanding how people's money flow, understanding how to manage the money, manage the royalties and stuff that come in. On our side, there is a huge breakdown with what we call metadata, right? So this is what we call the unsexy side of the music industry. But people are losing money because one, most people don't even know what metadata is, right? Two, people don't know how to manage it, and folks don't understand that metadata, which is think of all these different codes that are behind the scenes. If you distribute a
Yeah,
song,
break that down for the listeners that don't even really know
so
what metadata is.
metadata again, it's the unsexy side, right? This is more of the publishing side, meaning you either are a songwriter or you are a producer on a song, you own the master something. When you play one of those positions, you are entitled to different types of royalties, right? So there are five different types of royalties, and it breaks down to all type of things. These different platforms all talk to each other, right? So whatever platform you're using to distribute your music is going to talk to your PRO, which is going to talk to your sound exchange, which is also going to talk to the radio station that's playing your music, which is going to talk to Spotify when somebody is streaming your music in Australia. You feel me? So all these things
Yes.
converse, and they converse with different codes and different languages that we use, right? So there's a whole system that we use called DDEX, which is at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of codes and they all kind of speak to each other. But the thing that you got to understand is if you play one of those positions, you're a songwriter, you are a producer, you own the masters, you have to do certain registrations in order to make that money flow back to your pockets, right? But again, we have so many different systems that have to speak to each other that what's happening is the languages that people are speaking are not the same one across the board, right? And because
Mm,
these languages are not the same across the board, the money is not flowing like it needs to. Now, the thing is, to be 100% honest, most black and brown people, a lot of them don't even know that this shit exists. You feel me?
right.
So, not knowing that it exists means that we're not doing the registrations, meaning that we're keeping money on the table, meaning that we're giving our money away to the major industry because we have royalties in what we call a black box. It takes,
Yeah,
you
I was
have,
just thinking to that black box.
you
Everybody
feel
money
me?
goes to.
Your money goes in a black box. You got 3 years to get it. When you don't get it, they divide it up into something called market share. So the top percentiles of the music industry are now eating off of your royalties because nobody
Yep.
ever told you that you had to do this said work. So if we think it's bad right now, just in the United States, you got to understand that music is now global and people can listen to it all over the world. So if
Universal.
we having issues with our languages in the United States, what happened when they start listening to our music in Nigeria and Taiwan and the Netherlands, and our language is not together? We missing money not only where we live, but in different countries as well. You feel me? So the metadata issue is it's a global issue. You feel me? But
Yeah.
to me, it's even bigger in the United States because a lot of artists don't understand it exists, and we live in a world of capitalism, right? The more that
Right.
people
Right.
don't
Yeah.
understand it, the more that unfortunately other people are going to take advantage of it. You feel me? So all this to me ties back to again, it's the unsexy part, but this is the education. For me, this is the bread and butter. This is the foundation that people are not understanding, and they don't realize. Wow, they're not up with the Joneses right now. One of the main things that's happening in 2026 is catalog acquisitions, meaning all of these companies are raising millions and millions of dollars to buy people's catalog. Britney Spears just sold her catalog yesterday, $200 million. But in order for
That
Britney to have sold that catalog, all her metadata had to be
had to
clean.
be right.
You feel
I
me?
see
So that
now. I
whoever
see.
bought that catalog can look and see, wow, this is how much money she's made so far off of this catalog. Now, if I put some resources behind it and get some bigger opportunities and I give her this much, I could probably make this much back off of it. But you'll never find yourself in those opportunities if your catalog's not clean, organized, registered. And again, people don't know that this shit even exists. So now what?
That's why it's important, I think, for people to actually tap in, and do interviews like this and speak and give information to the public because people don't even know like people like you exist that actually have this information. And word of mouth travel fast because now I'm gonna be on my show talking like, yo, you gotta get into this and get into that, just hitting the surface of it. But I see that you helped over like 1,000 artists and helped like generate 10 plus million streams, yo. That's crazy work. How you even get into this?
Fate, yo. Fate. It
Fate.
was 100%, man. So the quick story, if you would, I've always had a love and I've had a passion for music, right? But I never quite knew exactly what
On
I
the
wanted to
business
do,
side, right?
right? I mean, kind of. You feel me? Like, honestly, it started. I wanted to be a producer, 100%, right? I was on drumline as a kid, so I was big on like, I just want to produce. I'm originally from the DMV area, so I grew up watching Timberland, Missy Elliott, and Pharrell. Those were my three, like, those were my go-tos. You feel me? I wanted to be the love child of those three type thing.
Mm,
So when I was a freshman in college. I was in New York, and I was getting in just a little bit too much trouble, right?
yeah.
So I'm very much of an idle hands person. School was great, dean's list and everything, but I'm like, this is whack for real, for real. So I wound up getting a cool internship with a gentleman who, let's just say, he opened my eyes to more of the business side in the industry, and for this to be a black man who was making strides in the industry in the early 2010s for me just was like I had no idea that this existed, right? So I wound up moving down to Florida, Jacksonville, and I linked up with DJ Dr. Doom, believe it or not.
Mm,
Doom took me under his wing, and I was like straight up intern vibe. You feel me? If you ever got an invite to Martini Monday or come out
yeah.
to Funk Fest, any of that, that was me behind the scenes. You feel me?
Behind the
Um,
scenes.
so putting in that work and being around Doom was showing me so many different ways, right? Hospitality, how to have crowd control, different events. But again, I'm meeting different artists too because he's around some of everybody,
Networking.
right? So what I start realizing, and at the same time, I had a food truck, right? And I sat my food truck at a strip club. I was at the Mirage, believe it or not, right? So I'm
Yeah.
getting to see two different situations, right? I see the corporate side of music. So I see people coming in the radio station. We doing interviews. We doing funk fest. We doing all this type of stuff. In the strip club, I'm seeing the artists who are moving in the city, right? Not only moving in the city, but whoever had a concert that night, they come into the strip club after. So I'm seeing all kind of talent. And what I'm realizing is these kids that are in the city don't know how to be more than city popular to me, right? But I can't quite figure out what exactly it is. Then I start seeing kids who are coming from Duval and they signing deals, but 6 months later they like, it was the worst thing I ever done in my life. Like I should have never did this. Da, da, da,
Right,
da, da, da.
right, right, right.
So I'm just sitting here and I'm asking questions. I'm like, what's the disconnect? Like what's going on? And then it clicked. I'm like, nobody know how money actually flow in this industry, right? And at the same time, I didn't fully understand it either. I just kept hearing the term learn the business side. So when I was first interning with the dude in New York, I remember him telling me, when you understand the business of music, you'll move differently. And that just stuck in the back of my head. And I kept trying to figure out what is the business behind the music? What is it? What is it? So I wound up putting myself in this class, right? And I never forget this because at the time my mom was staying in Miami. So I used to go to Miami and just go wild out. You feel me? I can go in every
Yeah.
club. I was just linked in. You feel me? Who having a concert tonight? Oh, walking straight through the door. So I went on a week where everything was popping. But I told myself, you cannot go out until you finish this class. You cannot go out.
What class
So
was
at the
this?
there was some class online that was teaching me like music business, right? It was supposed to be a
Okay.
14 a 14 to 21 day class. I told myself you can do it in 7 days. So after 3 days of my mom coming home partying type thing, like, yo, we was linking up with this person and we linked up with this person. I'm like, yo, why is my mother having like way more fun than me type thing? Like, oh, I was out hanging out with Kevin Gates. What do you mean you were hanging out with Kevin? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, I gotta go hang out. So I finished this class in a couple of days. And I
Right.
wind up going back to Doom and I'm just like, yo, there's so many things that people are like not doing the right way. So now my eyes
Yeah.
are open. I'm like, you ever heard of this? Do you know about like Nielsen? What's media based? What's a copyright? And he like, yeah,
Right.
like now you flowing type thing, right? So I go back to my food truck and I start seeing like little homies who are good, but then I'm asking them stuff like, hey, you got your music on a flash drive? And they're like, what I need it on a flash drive for? How you gonna give it to the DJ if your music not on
Right.
the flash drive, right? So I start using my food truck, believe it or not, as a vessel. So it gets to a point where when
Wow.
you come up to a window, you order your food, you go to the back of the truck, I'm kicking game with everybody. You feel me? So I'm like, yo, you need flyers, you need t-shirts, you need a clean version, da da da, and then they start doing it. You feel me? So next thing I know, I hear the song that I told my homeboy to put on the flash drive, and they blasting this joint right now. I'm like, oh, yo, they really playing it for real, for real.
Not even
Homeboy come
gatekeeping
back.
like
You
that.
feel me? Homeboy come back and now he got a stack of flies the next week. I'm like, oh, it's 300 cars out here. Like, go wet it up for real, for real. And now they
Yeah.
starting to move and they doing it. And I'm like, they need, they just needed guidance. You feel me? So
Yes.
then I go further and I'm
That's a
like, okay,
service. That's a whole service.
that's literally how I started my company, bro. So I'm just helping people, and I'm figuring stuff out as we go. So the turning point, if you would, was one of my clients, but I just was a homie at the time, was like, yo, we in this contest. I think it might have been like I can't remember what station, but they were doing like local artists competing against each other, and whoever won, they got placed for like a month or something like that. And they like, yo, we
Yeah.
want to put on the radio, but we know they're not gonna play our song on the radio if we don't have a copyright on it. I sat on my mother floor with my people and figured it out, right? And just finagling it. It went through, and it's crazy. They wound up winning. You feel me? So I remember them coming back to my crib, blasting that song. My mom is running
Yeah.
outside like, oh, and that's when I was like, yo, like this is about to be my next one too. Boom. Now Doom is starting to tell people, I can't play your music on the radio unless you got the paperwork taken care of, but Jay will take care of it. I became the paperwork kid. Feel me? So almost
Mm.
every artist in Duval, I'm touching them some type of way, either doing their paperwork or advising them this how you should do this, or this how you should do that. Let me introduce you to this person, da 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 da. And that's honestly how my company was born for real, for real. So it went from being a paperwork kid and just Duval to getting some bigger opportunities and being able to go on tour and actually speak and educate about this. So that's how it was
So
easy to get those
that's your
established.
education and advocacy part right there, the department right there. And
That's
as a
how it all
culture of
started.
education, that's how you even close the gaps right there. I like that.
That's how it all started, yo.
So
So
basically
like
your education is a form of protection
always, you feel me?
for the
Like you gotta
artist.
understand. The music industry always exploits the artists. Always has, especially the
Right.
black artists. You gotta go back to the history of music, right? You feel me? Like look up, it's called Tin Pan Alley. It used to be in New York. And they called it that because it just was like loud and crazy. But you gotta think, back in the day, black people didn't get in certain rooms. They had to be escorted in. That's why you have a manager. Feel me?
Yes.
You also got to think about the fact that half the black people couldn't read or write. It's also why you had a manager. You feel me? You had a publisher because that black person wasn't allowed to push their music where other people were. So somebody had to do
Right.
it for them. So you gotta understand this whole industry was created not only to exploit us, but we didn't have equality, we didn't have ownership, we didn't have equity
I
because we
mean, we
didn't
see what happened to
understand.
TLC, right?
It's man, you can talk about it. You can see what happened with Salt and Pepper recently.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like rinse and repeat because we don't understand the foundations of how these things are set up. Look at what is his name, finesse two times, who just crying
Yeah.
over
I
his
even
deal
seen
recently.
his. I'm like, damn, this shit's still happening.
You feel me? But again, we're not pushing learn the industry first before you're signed. We're pushing it's some quick money for you. You feel me? Like you can get your chain if you sign type thing. Nobody's
Yeah.
saying read the contract, get your own attorney, negotiate the contract. Don't sign so quick and make some leverage for yourself.
Yeah, because you can't
Learn
even
what
get
you
a
about to
label
sign.
meeting without a lawyer or a manager. Like you pay a lawyer, get you in the building faster than you just coming in as an artist. And I'm listening to what you're saying. It's like basically, um, Because on the lower level, people look at it like, yo, I just gotta get follows. I need my streams up. And it's like, what you saying is way beyond followers and streams.
Listen, that whole followers and stream thing was vanity metrics that they put in front of our young kids, which unfortunately took off for the other people to be able to get the ownership. Cool, you worried about streams and
Mm,
followers, but you don't own your Instagram page. That's Mark Zuckerberg. You feel me? You don't
right.
own any of your data from Spotify. Spotify has it. You feel me? But we never told people to make their own home bases. So like all my clients, it's mandatory. You need to have a website. Why? Because when Instagram shut down, I'm not worried about how I'm gonna get to my people. I have everybody's email address, I have everybody's phone numbers, I have certain people's addresses. So if I want to get in contact with my people, I don't have no issue. On top of that, I own all of my data. You feel me? So I obtained these phone numbers, these email addresses legally. This is mine. You feel me? So
Yes.
I don't worry about my Instagram page. That's just extra free marketing type thing. And I try to teach my artists the same thing, whereas this digital real estate is not ours. What do you own? We have to start
Digital real
leverage.
estate.
It's fake,
Mm.
man. They can go on right
So
now. Remember,
would that be the same thing when we just talking about the social platforms? Would that be the same thing equivalent to TuneCore United Masters?
I mean, those are
'Cause I know
aggregators.
those are distros. So would it be the same thing like you have your own web page?
Yeah, you sell your music on your website. I got mad clients right now who literally like, yo, you want to buy my music? It's on a website, $2. You gonna make more money with them $2 than how many
Yes.
streams?
Yes,
You
you're
feel
right.
me?
Because you need
I
like a
had it,
million streams to get probably $3,000, I think. You probably done spent that on the video.
and right, and that depends on how your splits are set up, what country you in, how like all of that is contingent. It's no real formula. There's no such thing as a streaming rate. There's no such
Yeah,
thing. You
yeah.
feel
So
me? Like
if
you
I
can't
was a new independent artist right now, if I was brand new getting in the game right now, what would be my first three business steps I should take?
take a class first and
Mhm.
foremost. Read a book. Secondly,
They
you
don't
feel
even
me?
read no more.
No bull. You feel me? Like there's literally a book that if everybody knows it, all about the music business by David Passman. There have been almost 11, 12 editions that have come out. It is the music Bible, but how many people don't want to read it? And it's every single answer in the book.
What's the name of the
Any
book again?
all about the music business
Okay.
by
All about
David
the
Passman. I got it over there in my library type thing. You feel me? But
yeah.
every answer that anybody has ever had about the music, what this label deal mean, how much I'm supposed to get for this, what should I do? If you want to
Read.
hide something from them, put it in the book. You
Yo,
feel me?
that's crazy because I was talking to somebody and I was like, yeah, he's like, you read? I'm like, yeah, he like, bro, I ain't read in 10 years. I'm like, damn, we the same age. You don't read? It was crazy. How do I'm gonna say like if somebody missing royalties, how can they find that out?
They need to do an audit,
Or audit.
So like with these companies and stuff, they say they paying you, but you got to check and see if they are. You feel me? So like it's almost like doing some
Oh,
real.
that's what artists do with their labels.
Yeah, but you need to do it for yourself too. You feel me? Like every
Right,
year you
right.
need to be auditing and making sure, like, cool, I have 25 songs that are out, right? But I look in my ASCAP, which is my PRO, and I only have 12 songs in there. And then I look into my Sound Exchange and I only have 6 songs in there. Well, something's missing. You didn't do some registrations. You feel me? So if you would not have stopped and checked all your stuff and audited yourself, you would have never known. So the labels, when you would have labeled, you're pretty much doing the same thing, right? It's a little bit different because it's contingent upon your deal, but your deal says like, okay, well, we're gonna pay you 10% of your sales until you fully recoup. And it's like, all right, bet. And it's like, well, how much do I have to recoup? And it's like 1.2 million. It's like, but I only signed for 750. It's like, well, you have recording
Wow.
costs, you have marketing budgets, you have this, you have that, and you got to tell them, let me see all the receipts, right? Because I'm trying to figure out why food for this studio session says it was catered for $3,000, but
Mm,
we really only spent 150 on DoorDash. You feel me? But if you're
right.
not paying attention to that, they're gonna sweep everything under. So you have to be aware and prevalent of everything that's going on. Just because you're with a label don't mean that like they're gonna do everything like they're supposed to do. On top of that, being with a label, they're not responsible for doing your registrations and stuff. You feel me? Like
Right,
their
right,
job is
right,
putting the battery in your back. Your job is still doing your job. You feel me?
right.
So you
Basically,
got to be
basically run
aware.
yourself as an artist, but run it like you're an artist, but run it like you're a label.
Yeah, you have to. You are your own label. If you're not signed to nobody, you are your label. So you have to do all those jobs that everybody else is doing for somebody who can afford a team. You can't afford a team yet, therefore you are your team. That don't
Mm,
mean don't do the positions. You got to play all of them until you can take some hats off. But every time when you like, nah, I'm just not gonna do that. Well, cool. Sleep on your own money then.
yeah, yeah. And they be complaining about how it ain't no bread when it's there, and you got the whole format, books, classes, and networking, and it's crazy. I know it was a service the more you was talking, I'm like, yo, you could get paid for this. This is like a whole business right here. And when you give people
What I
free
do?
game, you give them the surface and they still don't even jump on that. They even try to find out the information for themselves, so you could do what you could do for those who want to take it serious. What would be like a smart release plan?
Shit, having a plan. To be honest, you feel me? Like that.
Having
That's
a
the
plan. Yeah.
having a plan. There are so many people who like they don't have plans. They
They
just
just go
drop
to the
music.
studio, record and upload.
Yeah, and then they scramble afterwards because it's like, what am I supposed to do? It's like, well, you already like as soon as you push that go button and you released it, you
Yeah.
missed 2 3 months worth of build up that you could have had. You feel me? So
So what
having a
would you think
plan,
a sustainable like career right now, 2026 actually looks like?
it's more feasible than people really think. You feel me? Like I know artists who nobody knows their name and they make a living. And I'm not talking about like no, I'm talking 6 figures recording in their closet, not having to like you have
Yeah,
no
yeah,
idea
be
who
the
they are.
person out there, right?
You feel me? Because again, people, you got to understand how money is made in the industry to figure out how to make your money, if that makes sense. You feel me? So, like, so many artists just want to be the viral star type thing, right? I just want to
Yeah,
be viral. I want everybody to know me. I want to be the most popular person in the world. And it's like, cool, you're popular and you broke. Then you have people who man, oh, maybe only 50,000 people know them, right? But these 50,000 people are investing into this artist. So you got
right.
50,000 people that's giving up $100 a year, right? Somebody that made $500,000 off 50,000 people, but we don't know who they are. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by like you have to understand how money is made and understand how this industry is switching right now. Like
Yeah, because
everybody got,
knowing that the mainstream won't even push that because they don't want nobody else to know that. So they
of
won't even
course,
push you as much. So you'll hear mainstream artists, but you'll see somebody like LaRussell or Jonas Lucas really blowing up independently.
because
And
they built their
they won't push them as much because they like, yeah, we don't need y'all to know that. But they
but
making
they
a living.
also they don't need that push at the same time. You feel me? So they not begging for it as much as other people are because they build a fan base that they can sustain off of.
And you win real
So
fan base.
you see what I'm saying? Like even right now with LaRussell, so LaRussell technically just signed to Rock Nation, but it's only a distribution deal. You feel me? And mad people are like, oh my God, he sold out, da da da. LaRussell made damn near $100,000 within 30 days selling his project. Selling his project.
Yes.
You feel me? Selling it. Somebody bought his project for $18,000 because they believed in him just that much. That's the same project that somebody else got for $5. You feel me? But when
Mm,
you allow people to love you and you've also brought them on your journey with them and you made them a part of them, they appreciate you more. But at the same time, these same people you named, LaRussell, Joyner Lucas, even going back to Nipsey Hussle, they poured back into their community as well. So it's a mutual situation. You feel me? So like one day LaRussell, I think Kyrie Irving bought his project for 11 grand, right?
I
And he
seen that.
turned
I
around,
seen that. Yeah.
boom. Then he turned around and said, okay, I'm taking this 11 grand and I'm paying people bills. Send me your electric bill, send me your rent bill, send me your
That's
kids'
the back to
daycare
the
bill.
people.
You feel me? So now it's not just about getting viralness. You have built a creator ecosystem, right? Where you're not worried about the world knowing you. You only pouring into your community. You focusing on people that like you. They've already proven that they like you and they don't mind investing in you. So a lot of people don't realize this is a legit theory, right? It's called the 1,000 fan theory or 1,000 true fan theory by a gentleman by the
All
name of
right.
Kevin Kelly, right?
Yes. I know what you're
You need
talking
a
about.
you need 1,000 people to invest a minimum. $100 over 365 days, right? So that's a year. It can be a $20 t-shirt, it can be a $10 download, whatever it is, right? Cool. You just made 100 grand, clean money from only 1,000 people. You ain't go viral. The world don't know you. My grandma don't know you. You feel me? You might not know nobody on the East Coast, but you just made 100 grand because you invested into your tribe. You didn't go out here and tell everybody like me. No. If you like who I am, my vibe, what I'm putting out here, come rock with me. Be a part of my crew.
Know
If
your
you don't,
tribe. Know
that's
your, yeah, know
fine.
who your people is.
I don't need everybody. If you get to a point where you want everybody to like you, you're complacent. Feel me? You're not even being true to yourself because you're leaning so much. I want you to like me, so I'm gonna do this, and I want you to like me, so I'm gonna do this. You're not even really being you. When you stand on it, you say, "This is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I'm about. This is my message." Either you like it or you don't. Then people who say they like it, they gonna stick around with you for real, for real. And then
Yeah,
you start pouring back into them. Yo, Michael like me. Michael, shout out to you for liking me. I love you, bro. He said my name. I'm buying some more shit. Rinse
yeah,
and
yeah.
repeat. You feel me?
Yup.
But that
You
takes
repeat.
time on the artist to learn their fan base, right? And not necessarily just like what music they like. What's their name? If this person is buying a ticket to your show every time, take the time to learn their name. When your set is over, leave from the stage and go shake that man's hand. Take a picture with him. Pull him on the stage. Make experience for people and watch how they gonna forever invest in you. And this is how I figured
That's
it out one
crazy,
time,
yo.
right?
That's crazy. That's dope.
I went to a SZA concert one time, right? And she
Yeah.
came back and greeted this kid by name, and she said, "This is the 17th show that you have went to. Good to see you again, Michael." Michael went and bought tickets to the next show because SZA knows his name.
Isn't
You
that
see what I'm saying?
she went crazy. She know me. Yup.
Swipe another front row ticket and he gonna buy another behind the scenes passing up. But she noticed him. She said, "You know what? Come backstage with me right now and experience, change that man's life." And he's going to forever invest in her from that
That's
experience. But so many artists now don't want to take that time to, what do my fans want? What it's always about, buy my shit, stream my shit, watch my video, subscribe. What are you giving back to your people to make yourself feel valuable, right?
and that's
Cool.
what I was gonna ask you too, because like when people describe you as a developer, right? Artist developer, right? And a mentor advocate, what do you think they really recognize about your approach?
The truth. You feel me? It's no cut cards, it's no sugarcoat, and it's no none of that. I'm gonna tell you the truth. And it's never from malice. It's always because I want better for everybody. You feel
Yeah,
me? Everybody. So I'm gonna always tell the truth. I'm never gonna really hide. And I think that's one thing where people is like, "Yo, you real as shit." I'm like, that's all I know how to be. That's all I want to be. You feel me? Like I'm not gonna lie to
which
you
is rare
about
these
something.
days.
It's rare as hell for real, for real. And that's why I've been able to get the levels that I've gotten to, is because I've never folded and I've never conformed. You feel me? Like I don't care what opportunities have come. I've said no to some things that could have put me in a better situation in life. You feel
Yeah,
me? But that's not me. That's not who I am. I don't want to do that. You feel me? I
yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
take
certain stuff I
advantage
just
of.
can't do. I'll be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't want to even be known for that. Yeah, cool. I could have
At the
had.
beginning, was it difficult for you though? At the beginning?
No, it was actually worse. I was I was not as poised as I am now. You feel me? I was a lot
Yeah,
more wild back then. So instead now where I'm like, I respectfully decline. Back then it'd be like, man, you did, and it's like, hey, you reel it in a little bit type
yeah,
thing. When I was young, I was a hothead. You feel me? So back then I
yeah.
looked at it as almost disrespect. Now it's just like, nah, it's just alignment. It has to be alignment. If alignment is not there, I would never force it.
Yeah, never force a puzzle piece, it won't even fit. You know what that to me, I think that's a lot of responsibility too, and yet and dealing with that's a lot right there. Artists don't even want to do that for themselves. So little things I do that I know of, I try to tell people, they're like, bro, that's way too much. I'm like, well, you gotta pay me if you want me to do it for you. That takes a lot of time to actually register all these damn songs and do the little things that you was talking about. But I wanna ask you about like brand and rebranding, like the development of that. If somebody put a brand out, how can they actually rebrand it and like recreate themselves?
I mean, you got to start back at the core. You feel me? With like figuring out who you are. So one thing that
I
I do
feel
with a
it.
lot of my Yeah, not even identity, but like, what's your why? Why do you do this? You feel me? Like, why you
Mm,
make music? What's your message? So, like, when I start working with either new clients or clients, and we're like, I don't know, maybe they came back and we doing a new project. Everybody for me has to do a self-reflection, right? And it's not only questions about like the music and the project and all that, but it's like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? What do you stand for? What are your non-negotiables? How do you explain yourself in 3 words? Who do you make music for? How do you want people to feel after they hear your music? What's your message? What's something you would never fold for, right? And now once we figure out all that, it's like, okay, that's great. Who's even going to listen to this? Who does this connect to type thing? Because that's how you figure out your target audience. But you can't figure out who might be available to listen to you and what you're creating if you don't know why you're creating it. You don't know what you're creating. So I used to have artists that's like, I just got in the booth and I just said something. I'm like, you need to make up a story or something about it because you just give me
yeah.
something. You feel me? Give me some substance versus the other artist that's like,
Even if you hurt, sell me your pain.
that us. The more transparent that you can be with the art, the more that people feel things. The more that somebody can say, I feel that. That's some real shit. That's me. That's that. You
Right.
gotta have people to connect with it for real, for real. You gotta bring that humanality back to the music for real, for real. And when you have that, that's how you're able to get people not just to stream it one time, you feel me? But that's how you're getting people to playlist it, add it, download it, buy it, asking you, can you give me more? Because I feel this song. It's like everybody got that one song in their life that was like, that's that song that saved me type thing. So when I talk to my clients,
Yes.
I'm like, make that song for somebody else, right? How do you make that song for somebody else? And it makes them sit back and it's like, okay, I need to, and it's not always like making kumbaya music. You feel me? Like, don't get me
Right.
wrong. I like everybody to make whatever they want to make and what they want to do, but just be able to tell people how it came to life. You feel me? Where you were at in life, where you created it. Let people relate to it because you never know who's going to be able to say your story saved me type thing. But if you're trying to be
Like,
too cool and just out here like I just
yeah,
make
it's
fucking
like
music,
losing. It's like losing somebody, and that's universal because everybody lost someone before, right?
yeah. You feel me? Yeah. So it's like the more that you can connect, and again, it ain't always got to be like bad stuff. I got people that make, party anthems like, yo, I made this song for when you get to that level of, I am too drunk, I need to go home, but I won't. That's how I want people when I hear that. And
But
I'm
I
like,
won't. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? They know exactly the target audience. They know the reason why they made this song. You ask them, like, yo, why'd you make this song? I was in the club one night. I was about to get carried out, and okay, that's the real story behind it, type thing. You feel me? I got
yes,
people who I had a conversation with a client today who were about to make this beautiful project that came from grief that evolved into choosing love. You feel me? And sitting here hearing her stories about the fact that like she lost her mom and she was in a relationship and she realized that in her grieving she closed up so much that she had to be vulnerable and be accountable and apologize to her partner and have these hard conversations and then decide, you know what, as much hurt that I have in my heart right now, I choose love and I choose to push love to everybody around me and to encourage people to love themselves first and da da da. I'm like, wow, all this was born from grief. You feel me? So each song that she created has a different like story behind, like
like
a
a chapter
legit.
of a book.
You feel me? To the point we got 3 acts with this project type thing that we're gonna be rolling out in Q3 and Q4. But I'm like, all this is gonna be so relatable because we literally making each song has a story, and they not all. This one is about grief. This one is about when you finish it, it should be fully Mr. Nasty time type thing. You feel me? So it's a flow
Yeah,
of how everything goes, but it's like we're being so intentional with telling these stories behind. And it's not stuff that we just making up for marketing. It's dead ass like, what happened in the studio when you was making this? She was like, man, I was so embarrassed because I just don't really be on this type of time around my
vulnerability you
boy.
was talking about. That
You see what
vulnerability.
I'm saying? Vulnerability, accountability, coming out of her comfort zone. But now we're taking all of this, and it's not just music. This is a story. This is a project. You feel me? But some people just don't go to that level of depth when it comes to their art for real, for real. But when you do, you put yourself in a whole nother room where you gonna knock yourself out
That's
the park
crazy
by
you say that
default.
because I was about to ask you a question too. Like, yo, what's like two, three things that separate a art, like a longevity artist, than the quick person that just burn out?
intellect, to be 100% honest. You feel me? Like you gotta be. This whole industry is about strategy and structure and having systems to be able to sustain all that shit. You feel me? And a lot of people don't. Most people don't even understand how they all correlate together. You feel me? But
Yeah.
all of that is needed. You feel me? So strategy, because every move that you make, it all has to tie together. You know what I'm saying? It can't just be like, so I'm gonna be a rock artist, and then in 6 months I'm gonna do gospel. If you want to do that, how are we tying it? You feel me? Like, what's the strategy behind it? Are we doing this because you got in trouble and we know you about to go to jail, so we got to clean you up a little bit? So that's the strategy that
Right.
we push it, or is that really something happened radically in life and now you decided to switch that over? But we're going to showcase the story of what happened so it don't
Narrative.
just look like light switch on, light switch off. You feel me? Structure. There has to be a foundation in order to build anything type thing. So
Facts.
that goes back to having anything from paperwork set up to having websites so you have a home base to having whatever your creative team might be that you can work with and flow with. And then systems like most people run around with their head cut off like a chicken when it's certain things to do versus for my clients and the people that we work with, there's a blueprint for everything. You feel me? So there's no question as far as what am I supposed to do? Follow that system. I just had a photo shoot. What am I supposed to do? Go to your Google Drive, pull up the folder that says what to do for a photo shoot, and it has everything laid out. Make sure you get
Checklist.
easy. You feel me? So there's a system for every little piece and everything we doing. You about to distribute music, there's your
It's really
checklist and your
important.
system from there. You feel me? Like you want to go on tour. These are all the things that we got to set up before we go on tour. But if we don't have these structures, these systems, and a strategy behind it, you just out here doing shit just to do shit. You feel me? Like there
Right,
has to be
right.
goals and intention behind everything. But a lot of people don't sit down and think that deep, and it's not because they're lazy or they don't want to do it. They just never have been taught this. You feel me? Everything that's been pushed
Right. It might not
mainstream
even be a lack of talent. You're right. It just
is
wasn't even
not.
exposed to this type of information.
They not. That's exactly what it is. It's never a lack of talent. It's not laziness. It's not complacentness. It's not the industry is against everybody. It's not. It's people just don't know how this industry actually works. It's not a lot of people who are sharing the information. Um, we
Read a
definitely
book.
not sharing.
Read a book. Take a
Dead
class
ass,
like,
yo.
like you did.
Nobody's reading books. Nobody's teaching class. And that's what I tell people, right? I'm like, I know you're capable of learning this shit because I fully taught all this shit to myself. You feel me? Like I didn't go to school for this. I went to school for a year and I dropped out to come be a caretaker. You feel me? Everything I taught myself, I even interned, I read books, I took classes, I paid people for their time, I shadowed folks, I made mistakes, up a lot at the
Yeah,
beginning. You
yeah,
feel me?
yeah.
And
Trial and
it
error.
all was just that's what it was. So I always
Part of
tell
your
people
journey.
like they like, yo, how I'm gonna be able to learn this? I did it. I did it. If I can learn this and I'm not a creative of any sort, like I've I just made a song for the first time this year. And I'm it's not mine. I just featured on somebody's project on a really
Yeah,
big like favor type thing, right? So if I don't make music, I don't produce, I don't do any of that, and I can teach myself this industry, yes, you can.
I agree. I agree. I like it because even when you say like it's not even like the lack of talent. It's like you mentioned the things that help somebody build, but what would kill their momentum faster though? Like if they got
Imposter
all of these
syndrome.
things, if they got all of these things in motion or partial of it, because this is a lot, you know what I mean, to unpack. But if they got partial and they're on the right path, what would kill their momentum faster?
Imposter syndrome. You feel me?
Imposter syndrome.
There's so many people who like they give up like right when the finish line is like 2 feet away. And the biggest thing is like unfortunately, it's just the way that this world is set up. Everybody's comparing themselves to everybody else, right? And it's like, oh, I can never be Lady Gaga. And it's like, do you think that she wanted to be fully Lady Gaga when she, you know what I'm saying? When she was
Right,
just
right, right.
Stephanie, you know what I'm saying? Like she just had that dog in her that was like, hey man, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it regardless of what it is. So I always tell people like, yo, stop looking at everybody else's paper. Like in school, you try and get the answers real quick, you're gonna look over here
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
bro, just look at your own paper and trust your own journey. So I see so many folks who like they just drop the ball because they just think that they're not where they're supposed to be. You feel me? I don't have enough followers. I don't have enough
Yeah, I was
streams.
about to say that they chase like vanity metrics.
Yeah, you feel me? So that's what I mean by like
Names,
imposter
followers,
syndrome.
it's like their primary goal. But what metrics actually define the lasting independent career these days? Like what metrics? You know what I mean?
I mean, to me, I could care less about a damn follower. I
Bag,
want to know
like you were saying earlier, it's the bag.
how many email addresses do you have? How many phone numbers do you have? You feel me? Like this is quantifiable data because if you have this, people don't realize that a label would value you more with email addresses and phone numbers than followers, right? The
Facts.
followers look good, but if you sell that data to them and they can repurpose, we're not worrying about did they see your post on the algorithm because we text them your tour photo. For me, we text them
Yep.
directly.
So when you
Here's the
released it,
tour.
they send it to all the emails that have been programmed in your email list. And
You
that's
feel
more
me?
important than your followers and your views.
Because just like we following their algorithm, they are too. They have more money to be able to move it how they want to. For but at the end
Yeah.
of the day, if we can, anytime we can go directly to a consumer, it's going to be better. You feel me? So again, that's why I always tell people, why y'all fighting this algorithm that they work on every single day so you don't win. You feel me? And I'm not just saying this to
Right.
say this. Like I literally have friends and people at Meta who was like, yo, unfortunately, like that feature that's X, Y, and Z. I built that 2 years ago, bro. It's terrible. I took all my family off of Meta because of how bad it is. Like they're telling us this. You feel
Like
me?
when people was chasing hashtags, oh, you put a bunch of hashtags up there, you're gonna go viral. The dude who actually created it was like, yeah, it don't even mean nothing. I'm like,
It
damn, people
don't. And now
chasing
when you
this?
get to a point, you can only put 5 now. So we did all that for what?
Yeah,
For
yeah,
what? Right? But guess what? I ain't really care about them hashtags. I was building this email list up. So now that's all I care. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't
yes.
care about vanity metrics. It's cool, but all of that is a funnel for you to come to my world. Cool. You like what I post on Instagram? Give me your email address. Wait till you see the shit that I send you directly. You feel me? Wait till I text you, yo, here's a new infographic. Wait till I text you, yo, you need some new funding. Here's a company I'm partnered with. But I'm not posting that. You feel me? That's only for my
Right,
inside
right,
tribe.
right,
You feel me?
right. So I'm not
Everybody
posting
don't
that.
get access to that. But what you see on the outside is different from the inside, but you'll never know until you're part of the gang type thing, right? But that's the whole situation. You feel me? That's the same thing with an artist. Like the way I'm setting up the artists that we about to do the rollout in Q3 and Q4. So we doing D2C first, right? So we're gonna have it where we're gonna make like a mini documentary and every story behind the song, we're gonna sit down and literally record this is the story, but you're only gonna be able to see that if you buy a certain bundle off the website where it's the music, it's the handwritten lyrics, it's
A
the story
premium plus.
behind each song. You feel me? But
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a teaser on social media so people can be like, I need to see that. You can have it if you come to our
Right over
world.
here.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So social media is just a funnel to tease people and say, come closer. You feel me?
Right.
And it's not
Promotion,
always the sales
advertisement,
stuff.
marketing.
Shut. It ain't
Yeah.
always the sales stuff. Sometimes like I remember one time I had a Zoom and it was literally like, yo, y'all my tribe. I just want to kick it with y'all. Get on Zoom. Be here for an hour. We watched movies together on Zoom. You feel me? We had a whole crying situation where everybody just kind of broke down for a minute. We did a plug and play. We let people link up with each other. We had a cracking session where we let people just join on each other for like 10 minutes. But this was our
Yeah.
little tribe kickback for real, for real. They got to ask
Right.
whatever questions they want. They like,
Building a
yo,
rapport, bonding at the same time.
you feel me? You feel me? So like I tell my artists sometimes, I'm like, hey, bro, like I remember one of them that I told he did it recently. I was like, just have a fucking game night. And he did. He just bought a bunch of games, food, drinks, liquor, and it was almost a fight over the Uno joint. You feel me? But it's like his people was so
Yeah.
hyped and was like, yo, we need to do game night once a month. Like this was nobody performed. Nobody was, we listen to new music. We are dead ass like dominoes, spades, Uno, sorry, Monopoly, line it
Yeah.
up type thing, and let's just kick it as human beings. But again, people have to realize you got to get back to the people that you want to invest in you too. But when you build a community, like you have to actually build community. You can't just ask people to pay and invest into you. Y'all got to
Yeah. They
fellowship
not
with each
even
other.
deep. Yeah. I want to ask you a question because I see it. It says serial entrepreneur. So, what other businesses, like you know, what I mean, that people don't even know that you actually do services or other business
Um,
that you involved in?
So
Um,
cereal probably came from like previous things, you feel me? So I was definitely like hustle kid, right? So I lived 37 different lives, believe it or not, right? So I
oh,
used to
I
be in
believe.
hospitality. Um, after I had a food truck, like I used to work at all kind of like restaurants, country clubs, all kind of stuff. You feel me? When I was younger, I used to even like hustle my mom. My mom used to like hustle purses and stuff. So I just got this hustler like mentality in me type thing. Now a lot of my stuff is more definitely music and entertainment focused. But like aside from my own company, like I'm the co-founder of an app called Allow that me and my founders are building, which is going to be kind of one of the first digital estate planning apps for creators, right? So we talked about like all these royalties and IP and ownership. Well, how do you pass that down to your people, right? So we always talk about um legacy, right? And we always talk
Right.
about generational wealth and all these type of things. It's like, okay, well, who has a will, right? Who has a trust type thing? Who has their
Right.
beneficiaries and stuff set up? So we're actually building an app to be able to do this, but specifically for not only creators but just the marginalized communities, if you would, right? So it's not only an app where you can go in and you'll be able to create your will, create your trust, but also like for our creators, you can keep your stuff updated. So let's say for a fact you got a hard drive that got 100 songs on there, well, you can be able to allocate who's in charge of what song and who gets the benefits from each song type thing. And let's say you go record 10 more songs tomorrow, you can update your will tomorrow. You feel me? Put them extra songs in, boom, and
Mm.
everything is allocated. So on top of us being able to make the wills and make the trust and be able to allocate the IP for stuff, we're also going to be educating. Because again, a lot of people don't even know what these things are. We as founders are all black and brown, if you would. So we literally built this for our people to not only be able to educate our people, but give them a vessel to be able to tie these things up for their family. So if I'm sitting here asking you
And
know what
that's
a
the
will is,
holistic solution-based approach.
you feel me? But it comes from truly who we are type thing, right? So each one of us as founders have all had, let's just say, some different situations that make this tying up your legacy important, right? So my founder AJ has sickle cell and he's an artist. So it's important for him to be able to protect his legacy because he has a chronic illness, right? For
Oh, I
myself,
see that you did work with disabled creators as well.
heavy, heavy, right? For myself, I was a caretaker at one point, and I've seen both sides of having all your situations together and everything running smoothly and everything not running smoothly. So seeing that firsthand made me realize we got to switch some stuff up. Our other co-founder is queer, but they are also really big kind of in the tech world. So they understand if you founded 4 or 5 different apps, how do you make sure your kids get the equity that you have from these apps type thing, right? So we all from different ways and we've seen the good and the bad that can happen. We also know that we don't have that representation in our community right now. So if we don't have it, we have to become it.
We have to, yeah, have to become it and create it ourselves. I like that. Anybody want to give a shout out to?
Anybody who ever rock with us, man. Listen, anybody who's listening or watching this right now, you feel me? Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all here, so I appreciate that. Nah, but honestly, listen, anybody who honestly have ever supported myself, my teams, poured into us, purchased products, trusted us, rolled the dice on us, everybody's appreciated, right? So this is one thing that like I never take this for granted because at the end of the day, I always tell people I am being trusted with people's dreams. And that is something that I do not take lightly. You feel me?
Yes.
There is information and guidance that I'm instilling into people, and they are able to check boxes off their bucket list. You feel me? That is something that I never take for granted. And it is one of the highest honors that I've ever had in my life to be able to see so many people get themselves to the finish line by giving them a tidbit of information and education. So the biggest thing is just thank everybody who, have ever believed in us, rolled the dice on us, whether it was good, bad. If it was bad and you cussed me out, I appreciate that too. You feel me? You made me a better person for real, for real. So
Yeah,
anybody who's ever showed love, just love back to them.
definitely, definitely. We appreciate you even coming up. People, this is Jay Yoko. Hopefully I said it correctly, right?
Got it.
Jay Yoko. And it's your host, Richie Shakur again, man. People, welcome. Power 904 Online Radio, man. Tap in, people.
I'm gonna stop the recording. Hold on.